On paper, super speed sounds like an elementary superpower. Compared to alien heroes who can lift continents or shoot lasers from their eyes, running really fast feels like a generic parlor trick. The reality of moving that fast is lethal. Accelerating to a fraction of light speed, atmospheric friction acts like a solid wall. The air compression alone would instantly incinerate flesh and bone. Even if the runner survives, the environment wouldn't. A human-sized mass plowing through a city at those velocities would trigger a kinetic shockwave comparable to a nuclear detonation, leveling every building in their path. To survive, the Flash taps into an extra-dimensional cosmic barrier known as the Speed Force. This energy blankets his body in a protective aura, smoothly deflecting atmospheric resistance and kinetic impacts away from him. By negating the lethal consequences of momentum, this cosmic connection elevates the Flash. He goes from a simple track star to a being capable of breaking the established laws of physics. Early iterations of the character, like Golden Age Jay Garrick and Silver Age Barry Allen, treated the power as an extension of athletic mastery. They used their speed to disarm thugs, run up walls, or catch falling debris. But with the Speed Force aura acting as a frictionless shield, the Flash can actively weaponize that physical momentum without destroying his own limbs. By circling the globe and continuously building velocity, his relative mass increases. As he approaches the speed of light, that mass approaches infinity, allowing him to deliver an infinite mass punch, capable of knocking a god-tier being like Superman through a solid wall. That control scales down to the microscopic level. By vibrating his own molecules at specific hypersonic frequencies, he slips through the empty space between atoms, phasing through solid objects completely unharmed. At this primary physical level, the Speed Force turns the human body into an indestructible, frictionless projectile capable of defying solid matter. All that physical movement requires a biological computer capable of steering it. The Flash's brain operates at super speed, rendering him completely immune to telepathic attacks because his thoughts shift faster than a psychic can track them. Barry Allen can process information in less than an attosecond. For context, an attosecond is to a single second what 1 second is to the entire age of the universe. This allows him to absorb entire libraries of information into his short-term memory instantly. He can speed read through blueprints and textbooks to master complex disciplines like structural engineering and rebuild a destroyed apartment building before the dust even settles. Moving and thinking at this velocity generates an incredible amount of excess energy. The Flash manipulates this raw Speed Force lightning directly, throwing arcs of electricity or forging it into solid platforms to run on in midair. This secondary level of the Speed Force transforms him into a hyper-accelerated tactician, one capable of processing millions of variables in real time while wielding raw lightning. The absolute ceiling of this cosmic power belongs to Barry's nephew, Wally West, mastering a technique called speed stealing. Wally can literally siphon the kinetic energy from every moving object and living being on Earth. By channeling that stolen momentum into himself, he has achieved velocities that outpace instantaneous teleportation across the cosmos. Pushing velocity that far shatters the boundaries of the space-time continuum. By running fast enough, a speedster can vibrate their frequency to cross into entirely different dimensions, traveling from Earth 1 to Earth 2 at will. We see the ultimate display of this time-space manipulation in Barry Allen's origin story, beginning in a mundane Central City police laboratory. During a crisis, Barry ran so fast to save the universe, his body disintegrated into pure energy, traveling backward through the chronological timestream. That pure energy became the exact lightning bolt that struck his past self. Barry Allen generated the very cosmic event that gave him his powers. At this final tier, the Flash creates, edits, and overrides the rules of reality itself. It becomes clear that portraying the Flash as a guy in a red suit, stopping bank robbers in Central City drastically undersells his function in the DC universe. Over decades of publication, his mastery of the Speed Force has positioned him as the biological engine of the entire DC multiverse. Writers continually pushed the definition of velocity to keep the stories compelling. In doing so, they evolved a 1940s pulp hero into DC's ultimate reset button, using his speed to reboot timelines and mechanically restructure the multiverse.
The Flash proves that the simplest conceptual idea, just running fast, when pushed to its absolute physical and metaphysical limits, can become the most profound force in the universe.